one of this best of three. Starting off in the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player is Bunny. Taking on the red Zerg, lower right-hand side, Solar. Game one of the series as we get this going, our second series of the day, of course. So Solar and Bunny, I don't know if they were expecting this, but the loser of this, kind of what happened yesterday. Clem beat Zest, and suddenly we had a, the loser match looking very dangerous. Hurricane is going to be waiting in today's losers match. Also, guys, today at the end of the stream, we will be drawing the playoff bracket for this tournament. So, if you are interested in seeing what the playoffs are going to look like tomorrow, we'll have 5 best-of-5s for you tomorrow. We'll cast 2 of the quarterfinals, 2 of the semifinals, and the grand finals as well. That's going to be our game plan. That's what we're going to be aiming for. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be looking to in that in tomorrow's matches. So, looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys looking forward to it as well. Again, tomorrow's games should be pretty sick. We've got Bly, Creator, Mana, Hearthstone, Uthermal, and Zest already in the playoffs. Obviously, we were kind of expecting 2 Korean players to make it out of the group here today, but we might not get there. We might not get there. We might not get 2 Koreans. We might get Vanya if he keeps winning like he's been doing so far, of course. So, interested to see who does make it out. So far, we've only got 1 Terran player in the playoffs in Uthermal. We have 4 Protoss players and 1 Zerg. Lots of Protoss. Hopefully, we'll be able to avoid some PvP, because we've casted a lot of PvP lately. Like, a lot of PvP lately. So I'm kind of hoping we get, like, a Zerg and a Terran out of this group. Solar and Bunny, or Vanya and Bunny, or something like that. Even 2 Zergs, you know. No offense to Hurricane, but we could kind of do without another Protoss player in the playoffs, basically. But if he does make it through, then credit to him. I'm not going to complain if he makes it there. Just means we'll have some Protoss matches tomorrow. And those playoffs do start tomorrow at the same time as we start today's stream, 1 PM CEST. So that happens tomorrow. I'll see you guys there for that. Link speed starts up from Solar in the main base. It's that going as Bunny's Reaper. We'll be heading back up through the center of the map. Gonna pop by the watchtower. Overlord hanging out at the top side. Link speed and Numitez Carapace on the way up as well. So just getting that started here. I was going to see Bunny back into the center with 2 more Hellions. So Reaper, 2 Hellions. Setting up together. Fusion Core going to come down from Bunny. So he's going to go into a Battle Cruiser opener. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. We're going to go into a Battle Cruiser opener here from Bunny. With just, I mean, you know, a couple more Hellions on the way out. It kind of looks good, right? You know, just typical standard. It's not the super greedy BC opener where you go BCs after a 3rd CC, which is what we saw Uthermal doing a bit of yesterday as well. No, it's just going to be Fusion Core dropping down and getting set into this. These Hellions are going to dive in towards the natural, and Solar only has Queens to defend. Pulls the drones, things will run by, and so far the Queen's doing a good job of slowing down this damage, and it looks like they'll continue to slow that down as well. A couple drones pull in towards the end of that, and only 5 workers for 3 Hellions. It's okay. I mean, yes, you have to spend some more time building drones and replacing those, but I feel like it's, you know, it could always be worse, right? When you get up to like 8, 9, 10 worker kills for 4 Hellions, that's when you're really like, oh, this wasn't so great for me. But 5 workers, because he didn't, you know, especially because he didn't make Lings initially as well, right? He was late on the Lings, so he was a little bit greedier on the drones. I don't feel like it's a bad amount of losses. That's also the other thing, right? If you take worker losses, if you lose drones to Hellions, after you've made Lings to defend, that's when it really hurts you as well. That's when it's really gonna suck. As you see the 2 Hellions on the watchtower. Gonna peel off, come up to the top side here. This Overlord of Solar. Heading down the left, Rotron Glare on the way up. 5 more drones in the production tab, and our Battle Cruiser is about to finish up on this starport, so getting that completed means our 2 refineries will drop down in the natural expansion. Command Center 3CC getting set to go, and Solar, well, he's just going to have to defend against this Battle Cruiser in a moment. First one out. As more BCs start, looks as though we'll probably have mech here from Bunny, and Solar, seemingly knowing what's up, is going to build the Spire as the BC teleports in. So look at this, Bunny's actually going to be able to force a cancel on this Spire. It's a little bit of an unfortunate position for Solar. He built it and the BC then teleported right there. So losing the Spire for a few seconds just means longer until you get Corruptors up. But the damage on the Spire actually means the damage wasn't going out to drones, so in a way, it's a little bit better. Finds 8 workers or so, though, over on the third base with these Hellions. So it's the Hellions that really deal the damage here. And now the BC is able to get a few extra kills as well. The Queens aren't able to get up into that main very quickly or easily. 16 drones dead from this attack. So Bunny deals a good amount of damage. And you can see, yes, Solar still maintains a worker lead. But that's only because he's droning up like a madman during this time. Whereas, obviously, Bunny, you know, he's making economy and units and army. And so Solar will be down a little bit on the army supply. And that will be a continuous hurt for him now, having had to rebuild a bunch of drones to stay in this game. So there's absolutely advantage for Bunny here after killing some early workers. Two armories on the way up in the main base, as we do see a little bit of a link drop. I like the idea of it, but Bunny's response is good and quick as well. Just gets Hellions into the main, nothing lost at all. That one drop of Lord should have been targeted down, but didn't go down yet. Cruiser dealing a little bit more damage. Factory's going to move over to the tech labs. Two more Hellions, two more Cyclones on the way out. This Overlord from Solar continues up to the top side. We're seeing the Overlord coming down, bringing it back home. You know, autocannon is about to finish, so those BCs will get a bit more aggressive. You mentioned this is going to be mech. When you build more than one BC, mech is generally the go-to nowadays. You don't really see a lot of BC into bio anyways, and if you do, it's typically one harassing battlecruiser into a quick bio switch into those extra barracks. ASAP, basically. Engineering Bay dropping down the natural in the center. Hellions have to pull away from the Queen Roach. Couple extra Ravagers wolfing in. Queen's going to keep on pushing forwards. Barracks flying back up as if the Corruptors here, the BCs are going to go down a little bit. Solo's kind of committed to this 3-base attack almost. That BC actually teleports when it had a heal ready to go with those SCVs. Electrocycling shouldn't have. I mean, this is a nice little time from Solo. It's hitting just as Bunny is not really set up with kind of proper units to defend, right? He doesn't have tanks yet. He doesn't have Magfield Accelerator nor Blue Flame. 24 workers going down as Solo's march across the map. He's getting a lot of damage done. Corruptor's going to go up into the natural. They're hunting for the battle cruisers. Well, actually, sorry, the battle cruisers went down. Didn't even realize. I thought they were still fine to teleport away. Bunny gets a couple libs out here, but the Corruptors will take those down. And wow, Solo just 3 bases, just goes for it. Ling Roach Ravager brought the Queens, the Corruptors obviously to help the BCs, and just like that, she's going to have to be called, and that's going to be Solar taking game number 1 of the BJ Destruction Team League. What's up, Skeptical Robot, coming in with the Twitch Prime sub for 14 months. Says, hey and thanks. Well, thank you so much for the 14-month resub. That's pretty much exactly what I say when someone resubs, right? It's like, hey, how you doing? Thanks for resubscribing. Skeptical Robot nailing the streamer thank yous. Of course, he was just he was in Australia. That's what I was trying to think of, because I knew he'd been somewhere. In my mind, I knew he hadn't just been in Korea, because I knew there was a reason he'd asked to be in this group. Yeah, he was in Australia playing the AEF, the Australian Esports Federation Battle Down Under. Won that 4-0 against Namshar in the finals. Looked good in that series. Pretty fun games. You know, 4-0 wasn't really a scoreline which really described that series that happened there in Australia. So yeah, I guess he's maybe just taking some time on his way home and exploring the world a little bit. And still playing some StarCraft 2 tournaments whenever he can. Why not, I suppose? Why the heck not? Alright. So, game number 2 here. Sorry. Game number 2 here. As we get ourselves ready to see what Bunny will do after, honestly, a good opener turned south pretty quickly in that one. I mean, what else can you say about it? It didn't go very well at all after he kind of held, did some good damage early, so something kind of has to change. You can't just let that be the case. As we do have our SCV moving its way down at the bottom right-hand side of the map. Just a quick reminder, guys, that the next series after this one will be the loser, the elimination match. So Hurricane versus either Bunny or Solar. Currently looking like it might be Bunny, and we might get a best of 5 CVZ winners match. That'd be typical. Throw a little bit of ZvZ in there. In a group that you'd never really expect to see ZvZ in, we get ZvZ. It's just the way. It probably is what powered Vanya to win, just the power of requiring a ZvZ to be shown on stream. It's amazing. So as we get going, we do have a Reaper, what we see across the map, is poking around and grenades the Queen, slows it coming across the map a little bit. Ling's a position to stop the Reaper getting up into the main, which is possibly where it would dive if he saw the Lings coming forwards here to deny it, because then, what is going to be in the main. And then you can pick up information as to what the Zerg is going for, perhaps. Overlord, moving out the front here. Third command center dropping down, as you do see no gas in this main base. So it's a very fast 40cc, and it's really nice for the two Marines to be able to push this Overlord away. It means that Solo doesn't know just how safe he is in this game. He doesn't know just how little aggression is going to be coming towards him in the near future. And it's very difficult to make that read early on, because obviously these Hellions are already on the way out, etc. You don't know there's no starport aggression until... You don't know there's no starport aggression until there's, until the starport units don't show up if you don't get an Overlord in the main base, basically, so... Let's see what happens. It's going to be Stim as well, so it is going to be a bioplay here. In fact, he's pretty fast on the second barracks as well. A couple Hellions moving back out into the center. Two Hellions up to the top side of the map. Stimpack is about halfway done. Bayonet's dropping down in the natural, and our Lair coming up on the main base as well. 7 drones on the way in. Reaper from Bunny will be moving down through the middle to the bottom side. Marines and Hellions just going to be gathering up there. And the natural expansion to this Reaper all the way around here is going to be coming along. Is really going to be diving towards this base a little bit. That's a nice little grenade to bop some drones up. Solo's opened up this bottom side pathway. Obviously wants to think about maybe a 4th base over here. Ooh, doesn't quite get the drone. That's a shame. 22 more Zerglings on the way out. Stimpack about to complete, but he actually made an extra Hellion off of the factory. He's got an armory on the way. It's going to turn into a pretty aggressive push, right? With Marine, Hellbat, Medevac. Now, this could actually do a lot of damage if Solar isn't properly prepared for it. Let's find out. So do you see the 3rd CC? I mean, remember, obviously it's not as fast a timing as this could be, but it's still pretty quick considering there's a 3rd CC on the map. And Bunny's going to go down the left-hand side. The one Zergling, though, there is a depot down, and there's no units there to shut it down just yet, so you might be able to notice the lack of units here. Solar already is making units as well, so he seems prepared for this sort of rough timing of when the Siren can get aggressive. Reaper's going to start dropping down, and Overlord killed as well. Actually, Solo gets supply block by losing the Overlord, so that's going to be quite costly for him. Bunny just needs to micro well here, and the Banelings don't really do a lot. The Zerglings are getting roasted. Really good start to this fight from Bunny as the next couple of Banes come through. There's only a few Marines left, though, and I feel as though the target fire is good there for that next Baneling. I feel as though this probably will shut down in the next couple of moments. Just going to unload over on the left-hand side, and Combat Shields is about halfway done. Marine's going to go stimming underneath the Overseer. So Overseer will go down there, and just a little bit more Ling Bane coming across from Solar to the left. Marines pressing in, going to go after a Queen, and just doesn't quite get that. So the Queen falls very low, 2 hit points remaining on it. Man, it feels like this is a very good push for Bunny, and in fairness, he's caught right back up on that work account. Army supplies are even. His upgrades are a little bit late because he committed towards kind of, Hellbat's armory, etc. before engineering bays. So here we go, 10 Marines, Hellbat joining up as these are going to be unloading now. Over on the left, a couple of Zerglings will go down. He's got a siege tank to support this position now as well. Yeah, it feels like Solar has a lot though. Let's see what the siege tank can do. He needs to try and target fire the Banes. He does get a few of them. Target fire very good on the Banelings so far. That was really nicely done by Bunny. He was target firing the Banes as they ran in towards the Marines. Got the close ones, got the further away clumped up ones with the tank. There's a lot of micro you have to do in that moment, and Bunny really nailed it. And he's able to keep these Marines alive, keep the pressure up, and it just forces Solar to make even more units to keep on defending. But Solar is defending, so keep that in mind as well. It's not just like, oh, Bunny is trading well. Solar's keeping himself alive here as he goes up into Infestation Pit. And Solar's doing what Solar loves to do as well, which is playing this no kind of lair tech sort of up kind of style. Just double upgrades straight through to Hive. You get a nice fast Hive up. The Ultralisk Cavern has to come down because you just need that kind of Ultralisk play to then transition at all. These Medivacs kind of showed themselves going up the top, and it maybe opens up the pathway into this base for the Widowmine and the Marines. I was going to be seeing the Widowmine going to go off for a couple of drones. And that's kind of cute, right? Because you show the drop going to the top side, so Solar's a little bit less wary of this bottom side of the map, and then you make the most of it. That's a really nice drop. 2 Marines for 4 drones, a few Zerglings, and it's all set up by the movement of the Medivac to the top side. Really nicely played out of Bunny. He's making a lot of good moves, and this is exactly what we saw from him in the China Team Championship. A lot of good moves, great ideas of how to position his opponent on the map, really, creating scenarios where he could make a difference. And really creating scenarios that are beneficial to him, and taking it out of control of his opponent a little bit, as we do see. He's still applying good pressure. That's going to be a dead Queen here, and cleaning up creep tumors obviously is always great. The faster creep tumors go down, the better it's generally going to be. This is 3 Medivacs unloading. A couple of Banes will get in there. First few Marines going down. Is there another Widowmine? Don't think so. Which is unfortunate because obviously those Lings were very clumped towards the end here. But again, it's from one side to the other now. Bunny unloads on the right, although it takes a little while to unload. And so those Banes actually do make their way over, and they do crash into that army as well. So a few Marines lost out. We're just going to keep poking away at the Medivac, pushing it down the right side of the Medivacs over on the left. Lots of Widowmines burrowing up here in this army of Bunny. Continue to press forwards. A couple of creep tumors going down. Zerglings Bailey's going to continue to run on into this. I mean, the Widowmines just killed a lot of units. And I mean really a lot of units. They killed so much there. That was kind of crazy as more Marines will unload on the left-hand side. A couple of Banelings connecting. This Medivac with 4 Widowmines inside as well, boosting down to the bottom. Let's see the Marines pulling back again. A couple of Widowmines cleaned out. Bunny going to keep reinforcing to the right-hand side. What Solar kind of did early, though, is taking this base as the kind of base you would mine from. Is very important because what it's allowed him to do is, I mean, how do you ever rally push this base? You kind of can't. That's why Bunny's been forced into this drop style. Which in fairness, Solar did a good job defending for a lot of this game. Now Bunny's going to push this 5th base though, but I mean remember, it's a 5th base that he's pushing, so denying that is not end of the world territory. Solar gets the Nidus up, will start to be annoying, but Bunny's prepared for it with 2 Marauders in the main base. Ultra's Cavern has just finished, so we're getting towards the point where we can sort of see Ultras in that next stage of composition coming in here from Solar. Marines splitting away to the right-hand side, a few extra Banelings able to connect, and this hatchery is continuing to drop, and I do feel like Solar is kind of running into trouble, especially because the Ultra Cavern is up and you can't really afford Ultras. There's not even any Banelings really here right now as well. Another denial on the Nidus across the map, and so Solar just can't even get across the map to pull Bunny back home. It's pure Zergling that keeps running into this here. Widowmines do what they can to clean this up. Great split on the parasitic bombs. Moves those Medivacs out of the way almost instantly, and Widowmines are just still picking up kills after kills. Just every time Widowmines fire, there's multiple Zerglings, multiple Banelings going down. And Bunny's supply is really starting to show. what he's been setting up for the entirety of this game, more or less. Those couple of Widowmine shots, not as great, but here come all of the reinforcements running across this map in a line. Solar is finally able to afford the Ultras, and if you can get those Ultras out, maybe they can be something of a stopping force, but I'm not really believing it until I see it, especially because Solar doesn't start 3-3 upgrades, so those Ultras are going to be weak at some stage as well. They don't have the upgrades to make them as tanky and as killable as you'd want them to be. They don't even have Kindness, actually, so that's how desperate Solar is. He can't even afford Kindness playing. He just knows he needs something to try and stop this, and he'll try the Ultras without Kindness. I'm not convinced it's going to work. Generally, Ultras need that Kindness to be effective in these sort of fights. As Bunny keeps on pushing forwards, Widowmines are going to burrow up, and that's going to be really good damage onto the Ultralisk. And as he kites off a creep, there's another Widowmine or two that can go off, and he will just. You can just see, I mean, even Marines here are dealing damage to Ultras, which is never meant to happen. You know, Marines are meant to be the units which are like, if they're up against Ultras, they just do nothing at all. These Queen's transfusions are the only reason Bunny is not already pushed through this army and took down this base. And in fairness, Solar's made a hold with this. The Ultras and the transfusions have picked up a good few kills, and it seems like Solar will stabilize a little bit, perhaps. Nidus in the main shut down again. Bunny is so good at being on top of that. As he runs away, we'll get into the mineral line here. Let the Widowmine do some of the damage. Parasitic Bomb has to split instantly because, well, that medevac with the units inside is super low, and it was a good instant split. Nicely done. But he still has the advantages, and now 3-3 kicking in, so now he's going to do even better in these trades. Widowmines will burrow. One of them gets to go off before the connection. Again, flies that medevac forwards. More Widowmines burrowing up, and, well, again, not really able to connect. They're just burrowing a bit too far forwards, almost burrowing into the fight or into the Ultralisk attacks, which obviously doesn't go too well for more Banelings. Popping up on this right-hand side, up on the top. The Nidus network is on the way down as well. We'll take down the Nidus over here. A couple of changelings going to get picked off as well. In the top right-hand corner, Marine Marauder going to be setting up here as well. Liberator around the top side, and Bio into the middle. Command Center drops down from Bunny. Marines continue to be healed up. Our Bio army will pick away at a few extra Zerglings, Lings, Banes, and Ultras continue to the top side, and another medevac shows up. Raptor is going to pick up the kill. But he has a lot of money in the bank, which is good as he's transitioning to Ghost Liberator. He's realizing he won't end this game on kind of the sort of units that he thought he would, so he's a little late transitioning, but, you know, gets there in the end, which is, again, the important part, right? He's going to eventually get here. He's not just destined to die on bio units. Space in the bottom left-hand side cancelled already. I mean, I like the change up of position as well. You know, change directions that Solar has to defend from, and let's see the corruptors coming through here. There's a few Marine Marauder up on the top that aren't really joining in this fight. Actually, Bunny loses a lot here. He's going to see the medevacs will try and boost away. There's a little bit of bio will run as well. Joins in with a few more units. The Ultras can't really chase, though. There's not a lot left to fight. The bio on the ground. Solar using drones on the right-hand side as Bunny runs over here. Zerglings are going to be dropping as well. Solar is still just, well, in some trouble, but in fairness, he's just got Kindness play. Now his +3 melee is coming up as well, although Carapace would be a much better upgrade to have, you know, for the Ultras and in just the rest of the game in general, right? I mean, for the style he's playing, Carapace goes way further than melee. Nice network over here gets shut down in Bunny. The thing is, now Bunny's maxing out on a much better armor with Ghosts and Liberators involved. In fact, I don't think he built any more Liberators. I think he stopped to build more medevacs. But the Ghosts especially will go a long way to help out. Command Center moving its way over to the top right-hand corner. Solar is so good at staying alive in these games that just don't look good for him at all. More Zerglings from Solar up into the right side position. Bio, Ghost, down to the bottom. Even more Widowmines and Bio down to the bottom as well. Here we go, Ultras, Lings, and Banes all gathered up. Marines are going to get a little bit of damage done onto the Overlords, and Zerglings run into this top right-hand side. This Command Center is immediately in some trouble. Banes are going to go rolling after the SCVs, but they won't quite find it. You've seen this command center taking damage once again. This hatchery is going to drop in the next few moments. Oh, maybe not. Good defense by Solar. Bunny's just mining a lot, though. I mean, I know this base was just turned around, even killed off, but he's got this base on the left side he can set up as well. He's got sensor tower coverage. And that's kind of the issue now. Solar is about to get to a Greater Spire, so he's going to be able to morph in Broodlords here, which should go a long way to helping out. Crypt is flying in, a snipe goes down. Baneling's getting picked off as well. There's a couple of Liberators are firing from a distance. Some drones going down. More Ling Bane Ultra down at the bottom side of the map here. A nuke landing on the top. He's already killed this base. This is a zoning nuke more than anything, and he'll let it land just for the sake of landing in out of creep tumor, but obviously nothing of significance. Solar's down to 64 drones. His economy is really hurting, and that's why his bank is just non-existent all game long. He does spend what he has now on 9 Broodlords. First Infestor of the game on the way out as well, and that's sort of the beginning of this composition that can turn any position of the game around, it feels like lately. But you need a lot more Infestors than one to make it work. Cryptors will find a Liberator that will try and siege on the right side, so Liberator gets taken down. Bio Ghost Army. Want to relocate? I mean, there's nothing to really do on the bottom side of the map anymore. This Liberator here picks up a few kills, denying mining from the bottom side base, and yeah, Solar just going to make a stand, actually kind of making a push even. He's going to try and take the center base here, but obviously this is where Bunny should just take top right and kind of push this right-hand side. If you have the top right and you control this avenue of attack, there's so much you can get done. These Zerglings running forwards are going to be taking a lot of damage. The bio on the right is starting to get surrounded as well. There's a lot of Lings that just went down there because they were fighting without Banelings. Bane's over on the right side, and Solar just doesn't have any, well, gas left over. Broodlords show up as the lack of Corruptors now will be somewhat apparent. He moved most of his Corruptors into Broods. Now 7 left, adding on 5 more. Viking production underway as Bunny realizes he'll need something to truly fight up in the skies, and the Broodlords will buy Solar even more time. Keeping this game active for him at the moment. Here we go, Corruptors flying forwards again. Snipes dropping down the bio units. Fighting quite hard, and the Liberators helping to zone and clean up some of the bits and pieces as well. Problem is the ghost count has just been somewhat annihilated and out of energy, the ones that remain, so that's nukes lining up around the map. Solar sees that one, is able to pull away. 11 drones going down as, ooh, a nuke actually did land on the right-hand side already, so that's nice because it finishes that base as well. Solar's basically on kind of this one push, and, you know, that's it. This push doesn't work, he's really going to be out of options here. The Bane's trying to crash in. I don't even know what's happening next to that plant before as the SCV's trying to repair. No, they stopped repairing at some point, but I think Bunny is still traded well enough here. You see some Ghosts coming in from the left side, the Vikings as well. Shoot down an Overseer, but the Ghosts don't even have the cloak lined up. A couple more snipes coming in. The Broodlord count is truly starting to go down now. Only 3 of them remaining, and an Ultralisk. 132 supply from Bunny against 116 of Solar. As Bunny's Vikings go kiting away to the left. I mean, Ling's going to look to try and run into this as well. Bunny will have to sit in choke points, wall-offs, anything he can do to survive this. Like, Ultras get sniped down. And it seems as though this might be it, right? The Corruptors are being turned away. Bunny seemingly has held this onslaught of Solar that really was designed to end the game, or, you know, basically die himself, because he's got no remaining hatchery to mine from properly here. He's got a few minerals here, sure. He does have this base, I suppose, but he's also down on 46 drones, so his income isn't even that amazing. And he's down in army supply too, so Solar tried to make it happen, did not happen. And Bunny is able to really put this into a strong position now in this game number 2. Looking to tie this up. Take this to game 3 for the second time today. Scan out the front here. This hatchery is seen. We see a couple Lings running by, get picked off pretty quickly. 3 Widow Mines, 4 Vikings, 4 Liberators, all on the way up as well. More Corruptors on the way out. Bio. coming in. Lingler's going to get us around. I will have to lift up, back away. Still pressing forwards as we're going to see the Corruptors, Vipers moving around as well. 4 more Vikings on the way out, 3 more Corruptors, 7 extra drones in production. 2 more Vikings and a Liberator coming into play then. So, again, all of this up and running here as we do see the Corruptors able to pick off a medevac. Bio pressing forwards, a couple of creep teamers already going down. Vikings going to press into this here, and Solar is just sort of struggling so much in supply. I mean, yeah, he has to be a little bit slow and steady about it, but as the snipes line up, as they continue to connect, the numbers just are not there for Solar to really survive this. So Bunny, 23 minutes on Thunderbird, he's looking to make an end to this now. As Parasite Bomb drops, and of course a little bit of a kite backwards. I mean, the Liberators are here firing, and Lingbane stops in Liberator range. Not sure what that's going to achieve. The snipes lining up again, and there's just so much bio. The few Banes will not make a difference. Bunny will close out that game number 2 matchup. The bottom right hand side, our red Zerg player from Triumphant Zone Gaming. It is Solar. Up against the blue Terran player on the top left hand side, Bunny. Game 3 of our series. It's been a fun one. It's been back and forth. We've had some good fights. We've had some fun fights. I mean, that second game was really nice to see Solar able to find a way to hang on in there, even when all seemingly felt kind of lost at times. Game number 3. The winner of this goes on to play Vanya in the winners match. The loser of this goes on to play Hurricane in the elimination match. Pretty crazy. Very excited to see what Vanya can do in that winning match, whoever he plays against. Should be very interesting. Reminder that tomorrow, again, our playoffs for this tournament will happen. It's probably going to be my last stream before leaving for BlizzCon and America in general. Again, just a little bit of vacation time for me. I'll be gone for about 2 weeks in total. Only because we have nothing to cast. It's like a 10-day vacation, but I have nothing to cast for like... How do you get something to cast when WCS Global Finals is on? I guess we can cast some European stuff. Maybe I will. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see how I'm feeling and stuff, so... Keep your eyes open. You never know. As we see Rotoron from Solar, it's going to be a quick investment into an aggressive opener from him here. He's sick of the long game after Thunderbird, apparently. He's looking to end this one early. Now, the first few Zerglings are most important here. Try and stop that Reaper from getting into the main base and scouting the Rotoron. It's interesting. It's a Rotoron off of a hatch gas pool, so you don't have them lings across the map to try and keep the Reaper at home or anything, which is typically the way to do this, which in a way maybe even makes this more unexpected, right? So we're positioned to trap that Reaper if it goes into the main. And as the Rotoron completes, we can start to build our roaches here. So it's going to be supply blocked when he builds a couple more though, so he needs to get Overlord started sooner rather than later. Currently 40 over 44, there's the Overlord. 5 roaches currently on the way out. Drone trying to make its way to the space, and you can see the Queen the drone trying to sell the idea, hey, we're going to expand, and maybe he will expand, right? Hatchery, a third hatchery behind aggression is never a bad idea. I'm really intrigued. He's going to see what, 4, 6, 8 roaches in total, plus obviously some of them morphing into Ravagers. GCR Reaper just up to the top side and is going to be hanging out the front there. Marines patrolling on the side of the main base, a couple of extra Hellions popping out of the factory, and 2 more starting as well. So Reapers and Hellions moving forwards, and for the first time we'll see these Roaches and Ravagers, and that's a problem. Seeing this for the first time right now, instantly starts a Marauder on the barracks, but he's gone into a 3cc build and he has no defense here. I mean, what are you expecting to happen? It's not going to be pretty, whatever it is. Starts to fight this first supply depot. SCVs will pull in, looking for a surround on this Roach Ravager, which they'll be allowed to get, so Roach Ravager surrounded now, and well, I think the grenade doesn't do much. A couple of corrosive valves dropping down. The Ravager can't drop them. I mean, it's a lot of SCV kills, right? I mean, we're talking 14 workers down already. Solo just running up behind this, so he's taking a big economic lead. Supply depot will burn down as well. Bunny not super worried about that just yet. This Ravager is looking for the Marauder kill and will get it as the Ravager dies. Its final shot will kill the Marauder. So Bunny kind of survives, but down 20-ish workers. Does have the third CC, so he can build up quite a lot behind this, right? He can rebuild SCVs rather quickly. SCVs starting up them. Marines going in after this Overlord. So that's going to get taken down in a moment or two. And there's Overlord getting picked off. Down in the bottom right, we're going to see Reaper coming in. See some drones taking some damage. So 4 workers going down. Starport on the way up, halfway done on that main base. Stimpack about to complete, and just going to be seeing Bunny kind of struggling here. 39 supply. I mean, Solo's just making more roaches. It looks like he might just go for a Ling Roach follow-up all in. You do a lot of damage with the first wave, and you just say, nope, not going to let you get back into this game at all. Obviously, Bunny's going to start cutting corners and stuff as well, right? Because you're behind. You have to try and get back in the game. The last thing you want to do is to, you know, take all the precautions in the world, because if Solo just keeps droning, you're in trouble. So it's a nice choice from Solo, and this is why kind of continued scouting is so important for Bunny. Even when you're behind like this, you need to try and figure out, well, what is he going for? Is he going to attack me, or is he just going to sit back and drone? Because that can make a huge difference. Well, here we go now. It's going to be seen now. Roach Ravager, Ling Army pressing forwards. The 2 engineering bays at the front. The Zergle's going to run by into the natural mineral line, where SCVs are going to start, well, just being in some trouble right from the get-go. These Roaches and Ravagers will continue to fight. A couple more corrosive valves dropping down. More Zerglings kind of streaming through this at the moment, as this is going to be a bit of a defense, but at the cost of 14 workers. When the workers leave the front lines, I mean, reinforcements from Solar might just be able to kill off these Marines, which are super low HP. The Medivacs are completely out of energy. Siege Tank is about to finish. I mean, the Siege Tank is a big deal breaker here. Solo's going to say, nope, just going to tech up myself, though. Last darts, drones on the way. He will not break Bunny here, and Bunny will survive for just a little bit longer. Good hold by Bunny. Pulling the SCVs was an absolutely necessary choice when he was underprepared. And obviously, as long as the Marine Marauder survives long enough to deal damage, with Stimpack it will deal damage. And that's obviously where you pull those SCVs, get enough in front of the Marine Marauder so it doesn't just go down instantly. It's a good hold. That's the right decision made, but, well, I mean, let's hold out hope, because Bunny is going to be in the lead on the upgrades. He is going to have the mobility of Medivacs now to drop around and to deal some damage, perhaps. So Bunny is absolutely the player here who has the potential to maybe bring this back a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's good for him. I'm not saying, yeah, he gets back in this game every time, no problem. It's difficult, but the possibilities, the options are there. It's not, you know, he's not dead to rights just yet, so let's see. There's 2 Medivacs down at the left. Going to pick off the Zergling here already. Balin Nest about halfway done. Medivacs coming down the left-hand side. I'm just going to be seeing the bridge. It's going to be accessible, so Marines can stim across it, and, well, Hatchery is in some trouble. Zergling's moving in for that. Hatchery gets cancelled. Ling Roach Ravager to push the Marines and Medivacs away. 1-1 upgrade starting up from Bunny as well, so getting that going, and just again more Marines unloading on the left-hand side. These Marines will unload as there's a lot of Zerglings out the front here. A lot of Zerglings out the front. And 2 Medivacs and Marines go up the top side as well. 1-1 upgrade's going to be finishing soon from Bunny, and our Armory is dropping down to start up 2-2. It's just he's not finding the damage with the drops that he needs to really put himself kind of a bit back in the game, right? He's not going to find the trades to kind of change this around. Solo, by the way, goes melee upgrade. Initially, he did start missiles, but cancelled that and decided to go melee, so he'll be playing mostly Ling Bane with the supporting Ravagers. And that means he'll probably just tech up in towards Hive pretty quick as well. I wouldn't imagine we see a delayed Spire or Hydra Den here. Typically, at this stage, you would just go straight to Hive and move towards the ultimate, especially when you're kind of ahead in the game, right? It means that you can just defend, and you know, you can just get up there without real problems, because what you're defending is just a drop or two. It's not like a larger push. Bio picking off a few more creep tumors. I see Medivacs coming around over to the right. Bottom, 5 drones going down. Medivac going over to the left. Drones picked off here. Bio again, a few more creep tumors. This Queen is going to be targeted down, so Queen will fall. Medivac's lifting those Bio units back up again, and this Medivac just moving back away. Over to the left-hand side. +2 attack and +2 armor from Bunny. Currently on the way, and a siege tank on the way out. A couple more Medivacs in production. Bio and tanks just coming out the front here. A few more Marines and a Medivac on the right. Then Roach Ravager Bane from Solo on the bottom side here. Zerglings mixed in with this, and here goes Bunny. Moving over to the left. Hive going to finish up in the main momentarily. Going to see our Bio army is still pushing along. Zerglings here are kind of running by, and again a lot of Lingbane Ravager moving up the top. Bunny's going to try and siege, and he's trying to make something happen with this push. He's about to hit 2-2. It's the right kind of timing, but has to find a really good fight for himself at the moment. Has to find a really good fight. He's so all in. The worker count is low. This is kind of it, but he's going to lose 2 tanks before this fight even really starts. That Bio goes up the top side to pick away at this hatchery. And that's a 5th base, though. You don't even really need that Solo if you're no Bunny's stuck on 3 bases and not even fully saturated them. Solar is just going to come crashing in, and Bunny has to lift up, go to low ground, but the Banes will just keep moving forwards. The Ravager Bowls take down tanks, and Bunny, it's a valiant effort trying to get back in this, but Solar just didn't allow him to really deal any damage when we expected maybe damage could be done. And as mentioned, you know, Bunny was in a weak position. He had some opportunities, but as stated, they were just not really taken advantage of. They were not allowed to be taken advantage of. Solo overall has played a good series and looks as though he will advance to that winner's match. As our Lings run forwards here. GG from Bunny. Solo will take it 2-1. Will advance through to the winner.